Top of the day to you, everyone, and welcome to a brand new week right here in the Gulf TV studios. My name is Ricky Aforbar. Toru is beside me here, and
Okay.
This lady has actually been serving me some mornings.
Oh my
Before
goodness.
we actually started, she was like, "Don't do this, don't, don't comment on my new hair. Don't do this, don't do that." I'm like, I must comment. You actually look nice.
Thank you. I know you will say this.
How you doing?
Thank you. I'm very well. What about you?
Yeah.
It's good to have you back.
Thank you, Jerry.
And how was your weekend too?
It was spent recovering from malaria.
I know, right?
You know.
Breakdown,
exactly.
I know.
Yeah, and
But thank God thank God you're back on your feet.
I'm feeling better now, exactly.
You look much better, actually.
Thank you, Jerry. It is good. I think this weather thing and malaria, I think people should just be careful, basically. And I don't know, take care of them. Check your net, your windows, your doors for any kind of those things are just so very smart. Any little hole they see, they just entered and they are off biting here and there. In fact, in the midnight there's something I can't even sleep. I will just be looking for mosquitoes here and there. Please, God.
You know, we're in rainy season,
by the way.
and we have more damp areas now,
Yeah.
so where mosquitoes can easily breed. So people should just really be careful, and they should take their health seriously.
Can we ever be free from malaria?
Of course not.
In Africa, especially in Nigeria, can we ever be
in
free
Africa,
from,
like you said, it's
I think it's a normal sickness.
It's a pandemic for us.
Yeah. All right. So today we have something very special coming across to you. You don't want to miss what we have today, especially planned for you. So stay with us as we go on this break. We'll be right back. You're welcome back from that break. Well, I still keep it simple, and today's topic is something that is very, very profound. Yeah. Today we'll be talking about modern slavery. Now, before you start asking the question, what modern slavery is, or is there anything like modern slavery? I mean, the first time I saw the topic, I'm like, okay, so let me ask you, what came to your mind first when you heard the word modern slavery?
I actually know there's something called modern slavery, but I just need to do a bit of research if anything has changed. I mean, you know, we can have knowledge being updated every now and then. So yeah, I know the whole concept of slavery, but then there's the modern twist to it. So it's not what we used to have back in the days.
Exactly.
Because most people associate slavery to mean people having chains on their neck, on their hands, on their legs, and they are being whisked away on the oceans,
on the ship,
through the Pacific Ocean, to the white man's land. But we have it in another form now, in today's time, like in this dispensation. So the word modern day slavery basically just means the exploitation of people for social and economic reasons. It's about you taking advantage of people's vulnerability, you know, for your own advantage. And we have it cut across every sphere of human endeavors right now. It's not just about domestic, for domestic purpose, because one thing that easily resonates is, slavery. You know, when you have slaves that are to beck and call, taking care of, no, it has really gone beyond that.
All right. So modern slavery, like Tolu said, is like it's a severe exploitation of people for commercial or personal gains. A very, very severe exploitation where one person is benefiting at the expense of a lot of people, and you just see only one person benefiting, and those other people are actually suffering. I mean, they can't do anything. There is a coercion, let me use the word coercion, or forcefulness can be linked to modern slavery. I mean, they are intertwined. You can't see modern slavery without seeing a form of exploitation, without seeing a form of coercion, without seeing a form of manipulation, threats, violence, you know, what have you. These things, these vices basically. And we think that it's actually very important because there are a lot of people that are actually in modern slavery and they do not know that they are actually being enslaved. In fact, they just see it as a norm, or they just see it as one of those situation or circumstances of life where God or life or, you know, condition, you know, people will say
it is just where they found themselves.
That condition I make crayfish, but you understand that kind of thing? It's just where they find themselves, you know. They don't understand that this is slavery and it's not supposed to be so, because we ought to, I mean, move and live in freedom, the utmost freedom that anyone, you know, can ever achieve. Everybody is supposed to have that. And a difference, okay, let me say that there's a difference, like Tolu rightly said, between traditional form of slavery and modern form of slavery. Like she said, there is no, what they call those things, shackles, you know, bondage, chains, ropes, beating. There can be violence, there can be beating, but it's just different from what was obtainable then. Before, it means slavery meant before then means somebody owning another person. I mean, it can own a lot of people, especially it was black people, that were mostly slaves to the whites, you understand. But modern slavery is not like that. They don't necessarily
have people exploiting other blacks now.
You don't necessarily have to own the person. Like, I own you now. I have right to you, your children, your great-grandchildren, your future generation. No, it's not like that. But along the way, people are just being exploited. That's just what modern slavery entails. And we're going to be looking at the different types of modern slavery. So one type of modern slavery here that I have here written down is, all right, so sex trafficking. So sex trafficking is one form of modern slavery that people just think that it's just one of those things. I mean, it's normal, you know, you want to go abroad and somebody tells you that he or she will sponsor you. Along the way you get there, and the person, along the way the person tells you that he or she is the one that would fund everything for you. Foot the bill and everything. Along the way you get to that place and you find out that you're already a slave to that person. You work all your life to repay that debt. And even as the year goes by, interest will be laying on top of that money. So you see that for 10, 15, 20 years, some people can't even come out of some of these bondage, especially debts, financial debts. I
remember a movie that talks about human trafficking. I think we saw that together some months back. That's Oloture. Yeah, that's a Nigerian movie that talks about, you know, human trafficking, and we could see how, you know, the whole thing played out. We have many people that walk into this thing without knowing it. I mean, they are seeking greener pasture. They thought, oh, you know, there's that promise or hope that they had been given that, oh, when you get across there, you probably just get on a good job and life will be better without really knowing what they are being sold into. So it's because people are trying to run away from what we have here. I mean, for economic reasons, everybody wants to live a better life, but it's not that they actually knew that that's how it's going to turn out to be. But yeah, it's a pandemic. It's actually a very serious one, and we have people fall victims every day. That's
so can we have
one
other
way.
Types of,
that's one of
modern slavery.
Yeah, closely related to that is child trafficking as well, where we have, you know, children, you know, teenagers being sold into slavery. You know, we have them in different forms. I remembered some years back where I had an interaction with a young girl. She's a girl from Cotonou or something. I think she's about 6 years. So she worked for someone that owns a shop close to my mom's shop. And we saw how she was being maltreated and all. And my elder sister actually engaged her in a talk, and I just working on them, and the young girl was just saying, she was crying. I don't know, I think she did something wrong, and they actually chased her out or something. So she said she could not go back home that day. She could not go back to the store to her madam, and she's looking for where to stay. If she can sleep with us, something like that. It was really terrible. 6 years. 6 years. Where are you from? She said she's from Cotonou.
Can you imagine?
They bought her a year ago. That means she was bought in when she was 5. To do what exactly? It was really terrible. My mom had to take her, like we took her back to the woman, because of course you chase a young girl out to beg. We can't take her in because I mean it can become something that you just go out of control. You know, they might involve police or something. But my mom had to go beg on her behalf, and she also told the woman that it's not right. Just imagine this child is your own child. You wouldn't want her to suffer. So whatever it is, just see that it's your child and do better. It was not long after that we stopped seeing that girl. So maybe she was returned back home, or she was wheeled over to another person. We have no idea. But all in all, that used to be the trend. And up to now, I think it's still very much obtainable, where we have children just being sold out. And it's really, really pathetic. All
right, so another form, I think it's forced marriages, especially for little girls, children to elderly people, or you know, marriages where the one party, especially the female, I mean, ladies are more susceptible to that, where they have no choice. You know, you're just forcefully married to someone else. You don't have any say whatsoever. You don't have any future apart from what your husband or your spouse deems fit for you to do. I think that also is another example of forced
modern
slavery. And another type in the corporate world is where clauses or different kind of
in the corporate
things.
World,
exactly, yes. Companies, what have you, they do that as well. You know, their staff, they're giving condition, they're giving ultimatums, a kind of clause or whatsoever is given to staffs where they are being restricted. I mean, normal things, normal rights of staffs or rights of people, they can't even exercise their franchise. For instance, one of my friends was actually telling me about the company where you worked and how they are about, or they have actually done that, and they've even sent the letter to all the staffs to sign. So the clause says that after 1 year,
it did not come in at the point of employment.
No, it did not. It's just a new
development.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is that after 1 year of working with that company, you've left. You cannot work with a particular company of that nature. For instance, if it's like, I don't want to call the industry, but let's use a banking industry for crying out. For example, you're working in a banking industry. After leaving the banking industry for one year, you can't work in the next 1 year.
After leaving a particular bank, you cannot work in another bank.
In another bank, in the next 1 year.
Oh, wow.
That's just, you can do any other thing, but you can't work in that same field. If not, you will be this, you will be that. You might even be imprisoned or sent to jail. You will pay money or something like that. You know, a lot of them stood and you're like, what's the meaning of this? After we have left your company, oh, we are here, we are working till 9, 10 in the night. We can't even go home early. That's there. A lot of things, and even after leaving, you still want to control our lives. What's all this? On top, how much? And how much is even the salary for crying out loud? A lot of things. We actually have some workers as well, are casual workers. These casual workers even work more than their main staff, contract jobs as well. They work more than the main staff at times, and you know, they are not paid well. They are treated just by the way, just
and
because
you cannot
of
take on another job. I heard someone someone said something about creatives.
Exactly.
That they cannot even take on freelance jobs. They can't do any other thing. So far, you are a staff.
You're under contract.
You are under contract.
Yeah.
You are bound by it. You can't do anything until when you have probably served you've served them and you decided to part ways. And in a situation where you have such laws, like you cannot work some years until you cannot work with other companies until after this stipulated years. I mean, it's just really, really funny how some employers of labor can be so wicked. I know about labor laws and all, but they are not even being enforced. We have this thing happening right under our noses, and we still say we have a law. It's not being effective, really. It's not.
I really don't know how you know, the thing about Nigerians is that we are so resilient that we can just take in anything.
Just
in fact, if those staffs
to put food on your table,
okay,
really,
they should say they want to protest or something like that. The next day, you
don't even have
see millions of people queuing to that same company, telling you that they don't care because they need the money. So a lot of people are just there because there's no more choice to make. I mean, if you go now, who knows the next time you will see you will get a good job or a job at all that will even give you 5 naira for crying out loud. So these things, I think they are forced situation. They've just forced a lot of people ends that they're just tied down to that particular place. They can't really do anything. Number one is because our laws are not effective. They're not really efficient like that. Even the labor organization,
and the fact that people don't even know their rights as well. For the ones that are effective, because of ignorance, you may not know what to do. You just okay, this is what every other person do. I just have to live by it. I have to just, you know, I have to just manage the situation till hope against hope. Maybe when another opportunity will come along. So people are not well educated. They don't know.
I think this
they don't know what their rights are.
Of modern slavery,
illiteracy, lack of access to information.
I think poverty too is a cause of.
Of course. Why will you want to leave your homeland, your country, to seek greener pasture elsewhere, and you will be forced into human trafficking? It is because of the fact that you don't have money where you are. You want a better life for yourself, and so instead of just sitting and waiting that things will fall on your lap, you want to take that bold step to get a life. So in the long run, you end up in a compromising situation you never even bargained for at the beginning. So
that's true. Migration
poverty
also.
Migration,
I mean, traveling out of the country. Okay, I've heard of situations where people travel out and probably that's just all. They migrate and they get there. They don't have any
papers,
they don't have any paper, nothing. Probably they stole it or something. They get there and there's nobody they are going to meet, and they just end up into modern slavery. They run into the end of somebody that can actually exploit them. That situation. They are working. They can't even communicate in the language of that country. And the person just forces them, okay, be working, and promises them something. At the end, they are working, they are not being paid, and they are being abused, especially being beaten, especially for ladies. And I also think on that cause is female exploitation as well. I think ladies, especially the women, are being exploited a whole lot. I really don't know what ladies can do here. What do you think we can do? Like, it's so painful to me.
It's not even about, we're not gender biased here. We understand that everybody is in this thing together. Like, modern day slavery doesn't really identify whether you're a man or a woman. But of course, we understand the fact that women are more susceptible to these things, this abuse. Yeah, so if you're asking the question, what will ladies do? Other guys out there will be asking you, so should we be left out? So the thing is, we should all just, come together and fight against this thing. I know about, the Commonwealth nations and the whole thing that they are doing with the SDGs goals and all of that. I mean, 2030 is almost here. I think a recent research shows that they've not really made much progress on the actualization of the goals. We have about 17 of them now, and 2030 is just about how many years to go? About 9 years to go, and we've not even seen any remarkable progress so far. Things like, no poverty, zero hunger, quality education. We talked about the fact that one of the reasons why people find themselves in situations like this is because of the fact that they don't even know that it's wrong. They don't know what their rights are. They don't know any better. So if we can have, if we can have the goals being pushed more and more, if we can have more people sensitized, if we can have, more civil society group, NGOs doing their part, and even the government as well playing their role in ensuring that we totally eradicate modern day slavery, I think we will all be better for it, because we cannot of course, we understand that slavery is criminalized.
Yeah.
There are, of course, I know that there are laws against it. Yes. So why don't we have them effective? It's because of the fact that we are slacking. Every hand needs to be on deck, moving forward to ensure that there is a total eradication to this thing.
All right. So what do you think are the signs of modern slavery? I think we should talk about these things because people might not be like, oh, I'm not in that category.
This is the situation
I'm working. Exactly. I think number one sign is when you're not free, especially in wherever you work or something. You can't just live the way you please. You want to leave next week or you want to leave your place of work next week, but there is just something that's binding you, something very terrible. Yeah, they are.
Yeah. For some, it could be that you give them 8 or 21 working days or 30 working days. So it's about you getting to know what's on your contract or your offer.
What if there is nothing like that? You can't just live like that because you know that something might
happen.
If
it was not stated, ask questions as well. Before you get on any job, ask questions, you know, just to check if there are gray areas.
The kind of documents you sign.
You sign as well.
Very, very actually important. Signed up their freedom.
Very, very important. And when they find themselves in issues, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm being exploited."
Yeah, they never told me.
It is because you did not do your due diligence as well. So yeah, I think people should really be careful when they find themselves. For people that it's not really their fault, like they did all the due diligence and when they got on the job or whatever the case may be, as time goes on, they find themselves, you know, being in form of one slavery or the other. I think it is important to know that you can actually take a U-turn. Whatever it is you are doing, whatever path you are on, when you realize that, no, this is an exploitation, you need to speak up, you need to seek help. I know that the world is not safe, you know. We are in an unsafe environment. Right. I understand that part, but I know there's still really well-meaning individuals, you know, people that are willing to listen and help you. So don't keep quiet. Speak up. Thank God for the advent of social media. I mean, we can leverage on new technologies. Before you know what's happening, just form an hashtag. It will trend. Put it out there. Lend your voice. People will comment and they would, you know,
retweet or share them.
Don't keep quiet.
Yeah.
Don't keep quiet. Speak up, and you will get that justice will be served. It may not come quick, but if you are on your right, definitely people will rally around you to support you for a good cause.
Another sign I think I would like to add is when someone is always appearing physically or mentally scarred. While growing up, I think I was in primary 5 or so, and there was this young girl in my class. Her name was Felicity, very fair girl like that. Her body was always
not common.
Yeah, her body was always like, you know, there's always mark and all that on a very fair-skinned girl. And I'm asking like, okay, what's the problem? Why are you like this? She comes to class late, very late every day, and the teachers always flog her. I'm like, okay, what's the problem? She was now explaining to me what happened, that they brought her to this place to come and work with this person. And the person said he or she was going to be paid. It was a woman. She was going to be paying the small girl, primary school, a certain amount of money. She's going to train her to school. She'll take care of her. Along the way, the phone number of her mother that she had then, because phones were not really popular then. I think phone was just coming up in Nigeria or so. And, you know, the lady collected the young lady's mother's phone number and she tore it. So she didn't even have access to anybody at all. And she would, every day, like, she would come in with a new mark on her body. And, you know, she was just crying to me that day because I was the one that asked her. And I was really helpless because I didn't know what to do. I mean, it was just beyond my young mind then. I was
You never think of telling your teacher about it?
No. I didn't think of anything. And after a while or so, some few weeks, she just stopped coming to school. And that was just the end of my closeness or my relationship with her. So I can just imagine a lot of children, even adults that are going through this, you know, this same situation. I hope that we can actually take some kind of action against this modern slavery, which will bring us down to the last part of this discussion, which is practical steps which we can take to eradicate modern slavery. What can we do? What can we as individuals do? What can the church do? What can corporate organization do? What can the world as a whole do to help
humanity? A lot
humanity?
of slavery, like I think that the one that happened in the church is another form of slavery. Truly, right under our nose, people are still being enslaved even within the four walls of the church, like they say. You know, in a situation where you have pastors, all in the name of service to God, you know, kingdom endeavors, they will enslave people under them. In a situation where you can't take decision, you can't make any decision about your life without first talking to your pastor. It is because of the lie that have been served to us.
I really the one that was going
No. I'm not saying you cannot seek guidance and counsel or anything, but I'm just saying that there are some pastors, or should I just say there are some folks in sheep clothing that are very manipulative, and they find themselves in position of being a spiritual leader, and they do not really take care of the sheep that have been put in their hands to take care of. So for people that find themselves in that situation, I think it would be best for you to know God for yourself. And it still boils down to you seeking knowledge. You know, just get information. If you need to sit with your Bible and know what God is telling you about a thing, no, it's not all the time you take everything hook, line, and sinker. Like everything you've been to, oh, prophecy, oh, this is the prophet that has been given to me. Oh, so because of that, there are forms of slavery if you look at it really. I'm telling you. So know God for yourself and seek knowledge. So, and that is, of course, applicable in all spheres. So it's not even about church now. Generally speaking, if you are enlightened, if you are educated, you'll be able to know what your rights are. And when you sense that your rights are being infringed upon, you can speak up, or you can tell someone, you know some step. You may not have solution to everything, but at least you'll be able to make that step that would open you up to opportunities where people can really help you out of the situation.
Yeah, okay. I think that's for the church. Yeah, that was a nice one. But for individuals, what do you think individuals can do? Well, I think we can give. One way is to give. Help people around, especially those that, as in immediate cases around us, you can give. And you can also
related to that is to just love people genuinely.
Exactly.
Love without reserve. I mean, if you have the kind of love I'm talking about is not just any our love. It's God kind of love, the one that you've been soaked, like God has really soaked you up in His love, and then from that you can give to other people. Of course, you cannot even give what you don't have. So when you have genuine love for people, when you are interested in people's well-being, it will go along. These are little things we don't pay attention to. So when you see that, oh, someone close to you is suffering, someone close to you, something
looks wrong,
be concerned, be genuinely concerned. You may not have the answer, you may not be able to totally help out, but sharing that person's burden alone, just imagine you are down and you just having someone to speak to can lift your spirit in one way or the other. So when we are, just available to help people, I think it will also help in eradicating slavery. Love without reserve. Just that point is really important to me.
Like I was saying, I think volunteering would help here.
Definitely.
Volunteer for, outreaches.
Courses, social courses.
I mean, for individuals, social projects and the rest, giving your own little quota. It doesn't mean money, basically, but you can just volunteer to be a part of like a research team or something.
Or an advocacy group.
Team, exactly. Things like that. These are little ways that we can actually help people that are actually suffering this modern slavery. And also, I think the last thing we should look at is the government. What can they do? Number one, please, they should just provide job opportunities. Better job opportunities for people. And I think the labor laws should be upheld. Like, we should not just have labor congresses and labor organizations just for the sake of having them. Or probably when it doesn't favor them, that's when they will march to the presidency and they'll be like, oh, we no go agree. And when they give them a little tip like that, they'll relax a little. The next 2-3 years, they'll come again. They'll be like, oh, you didn't pay us that time. You just told us that we should go. So sometimes it can be so annoying, especially in Nigeria. When I watch these things, I'm like, this same thing, you talked about it last 5 years. So what happened? Is it that they didn't give you? Why did you call off the strike then?
Yeah, somehow referring to us.
We keep on recycling this thing and recycling this thing. I just pray that God helps us.
Amen.
Anyway, please, your last word. We are running out of time here.
All right. My last word will just be that people need to be informed, seek knowledge every day so that you will not be stale. And in the process, you would get, you know, you would... When you have knowledge, you'll be liberated. That's just the thing. Yeah. So that in the process of seeking knowledge, you'll be free. You'll be liberated. So, and another thing is that you should just really be kind to people and love genuinely.
All right, so that's the wrap up for modern slavery today. Our last word is that don't allow yourself to be exploited in any form, whatsoever way. Please, if you feel that you are being exploited at your place of work or wherever you find yourself, please look for a good authority to report your case to, or look for a lending ear, someone that can actually counsel you on the right steps to take. Please, if you have a comment or you have a feedback, anything, you have something to share with us, or probably you are being affected by this thing called modern slavery, we'd like to have your feedbacks and comments on this video. All right, till we'll see you same time on this same channel, on the same platform. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.